Yeah, well, it goes along the lines of my own process of when I was kind of embracing myself. Because, like you said, I think there are aspects of ourselves that we either deny or we downplay because it doesn't fit in with our friend group or with society as a whole, or with our definition of what we see for ourselves. But I think when you can first identify that and then accept it and learn to embrace it, um, that's where the gold of your purpose is. You know, the experts always say, well, do what makes you happy. That's how you find your purpose. And I think that's complete garbage
Hmm.
because, I mean, getting flowers sent to me makes me happy. But then if my boss wants to talk to me, I'm like, oh, well, there goes that happiness. Fleeting happiness is so fleeting. But what I was looking for was joy and fulfillment. And no matter what happens, like even when the boss calls me in, I'm not, I still feel that joy because I know that the work I'm doing is fulfilling. And that's what I'm trying to teach other people. It's like, don't go for the momentary happiness. Look for the joy, look for the meaning and the purpose. And that's where you will find like the true the true meaning of life, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, and I was looking at your Instagram, and I noticed that on one of your links that you have a specific 4-step process that you share with others. So is that first step really that looking at yourself and identifying? Is it more of like an identity first step that you teach?
It is, yeah. Yeah, because I think it like once you're able to really get to know yourself and feel like you know yourself, then you can be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
100%. And that is such a critical thing. I think a lot of people in the world are tricked through marketing and consumerism to think that happiness is external. I can buy it, I can chase it, I can be around it. And I completely agree with Sarah here that that is garbage. That is all temporary. Yes, you may temporarily be happy with the purchase of this, temporarily happy with the purchase of that.
Hmm.
But true happiness starts inside, right? And it starts with accepting with who you are. And one of the things that I love, and I think there's a big advantage. I understand, I think it's an advantage for people with different abilities is that they are face to face with accepting who they are much earlier than many other people,
Hmm.
right? Like Rustin, one of our very first guest episode was Rustin Hughes. You might like that episode, Sarah. He was our first guest on, and he talked about how he was much more disabled when he had both of his legs because of his mindset and because of how he allowed himself to live, and that actually losing a leg tapped into his ability.
Absolutely. I feel I have so much more freedom than most of the able-bodied people that I know because I know it's truly important. I'm surrounded by people who truly care about me and who see me for who I am and not, you know, and not for anything else. Like they can see past the chair because I am far more than my wheelchair. Like it is just a mode of transportation for me to do my life's work. That's all it is for
I
me.
love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a mode of transportation. It means I can get somewhere faster than you sometimes, right? Now that's good, and I think that is one of the things I think we should change as society is the word disability. I don't know how you feel on that, Sarah. I
I
think
hate that word.
I think disability it puts a connotation out there that people aren't capable, and like Rustin called it, it's a different ability, right? I just have different abilities than you, and if we all like embrace that I have different abilities than you, and Sarah has different abilities than us, then we're leaning into our strengths, right? Which is psychological, but it's strength based instead of what don't I have? This is what do I have? What can I work with instead of focusing on what I can't work with?
Hmm. Which is,
Absolutely. And I'm actually working on a program now called Don't Dismiss Your Ability.
Yes.
Because, first of all, I hate the word disability because you talk about the things I can't do, before you talk about the things that I can do. And I can do a whole lot more than the things that I can't do.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it's all about mindset. So this program would teach people that, your disability doesn't define you. It may set up guardrails on the road you can take, but you get to choose what road you go down. And it just learning that mindset and learning how to turn things on its head and, celebrate the things that most people wouldn't celebrate and to just embrace that side of yourself. I love to use the example of like a student with a reading disability, like dyslexia. Most people, like if they were told that their child has dyslexia, they would be very upset and kind of freaked out. But if you look at NASA scientists, like 50% of them have dyslexia. 80% of the people at MIT have dyslexia because their brains are wired in a way that allows for them to be amazing engineers. So just because you can't do one thing that most people think you need to do, doesn't mean the door is closed to every other opportunity.